Welcome to Puebla, a city bursting with culture, history, and tradition. Founded in 1531, it was one of the first planned cities in the Americas and played a key role in Mexico's colonial plans and battles like the Cinco de Mayo. In this video, I will take you through the best things to do in Puebla, from historic forts and golden churches to delicious food and hidden art spots. If you're visiting for Día de Muertos, stay until the end. I will show you the must-see altars, events, and street art that bring city to life. Hidden beneath Puebla, a secret tunnel network that once moved troops and weapons, and today you can walk it. We are exploring one of the city's most fascinating historical attractions, the Pasaje Histórico Cinco de Mayo, a series of underground tunnels that hold us centuries of history.
Right now, we are in the Templo de Puebla. This tunnel that we are sitting right now is carving ancient and extensive hydraulic network that is known as Casa de which supplied fresh water to the city of Bóveda. It was mainly for agricultural purposes.
These tunnels were discovered only recently, in 2014, after being hidden for more than 150 years. They stretch over 10 kilometers beneath the city and were originally used during the 1862 Battle of Puebla, where Mexican forces triumphed over the French. These tunnels that we are right now started the construction in the 16th century. It was first used as water tunnels, so all of this was to circulate water throughout the Virreinato here in America. Then, during the war with the French, the Mexican people constructed these tunnels and they used them like to escape from war and different things. Afterwards, it was used as commerce. The Pasaje is letting you walk a 500-meter section of the tunnels. Inside, you will find old weapons, cards, and artifacts that tell the story of Puebla's role in Mexico's fight for independence and freedom. The route is divided into sections, so you will actually go in and out of the city street multiple times, blending the underground experience with the modern-day life above. This experience is both historical and atmospheric, with dim lighting and sound effects that transport you back in time into the 19th century. And then, you walk out into the sunlight and explore more of what Puebla has to offer. As soon as you exit the tunnels, you will have two directions to go to. You can go the straight way, the way you go to the highest point that's over there, or you can take the longer route and appreciate the pond, and it has several docks. It's really pretty. Once you climb the top of the hill, you will find a cafe and a gift shop overlooking Puebla. This area is known as la zona de los fuertes de Loreto y Guadalupe, the site of the famous Battle of the May 5th, where Mexico triumphed over the French in 1862. Originally chapels, these forts were turned into military strongholds and now house museums and cultural spaces. Near the exit of the tunnels, you can find the Monumento a la Bandera. This is an iconic site that pays tribute to Mexico's history and patriotism. Surrounded by a green space and overlooking the forts, this monument celebrates the strength and unity of the Mexican people, a powerful symbol in a historic setting. We are now in the Centro Cívico Cinco de Mayo. In here you can find a variety of things to go. In here is the Museo Regional de Puebla. Behind me, the Auditorio de la Reforma. Now, if we keep walking this way, you will find the statue. And behind it is the Museo de Evaluación, the Planetarium, and the Centro Exposición. In here, this is a space where you can spend a lot of time, go inside every museum that you want. It's a cultural experience. And viewer, if you come here on a Tuesday, the Planetarium is 2 tickets and just paying 1. That's exactly what we did. We visited the Planetarium de Puebla, a space theme attraction located right in the Zona de los Fuertes. While it is mainly geared toward children, we decided to go in and take advantage of the discounted tickets. General admission is just 35 pesos and it's open from Tuesday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Before entering the dome, you will walk through a super interactive area filled with games and exhibits from space trivia to hands-on activities about gravity, light, and the solar system. It is fun and educational even for adults. Then, inside the Dome Theater, you will watch a short film that takes you on a journey through the universe, showing how stars are born, how constellations are formed, and where our planet fits into the cosmos. Even if you're not into traveling with kids, it is a fun and relaxing stop, especially if you're exploring the forts of the Monumento a la Bandera nearby. And now we are headed into the heart of Puebla, the city center. It is full of vibrant, colorful streets, colonial architecture, and lively plazas. From street performers and local markets to historic buildings and tall facades, the energy here is completely different from the quietness of Los Fuertes. So let's explore the charm and flavor of downtown Puebla. Our first stop in the city center is the Museo Casa de la Revolución. Normally, this museum tells the story of Puebla's role in the Mexican Revolution, through personal belongings, photos, and historic documents. But since it's Día de los Muertos, the space is transformed. The rooms are filled with beautifully crafted actors, each telling a piece of history and honoring important figures from the revolution. It is a powerful blend of culture, memory, and tradition all in one place.
In the Museo Casa de la Revolución, the building hosts in the facade let us know that the Mexican Revolution started here. It is now a museum, but as we can see in the hall, this is the place where it's all.
As we walk through the streets of Puebla with papel picado dancing in the wind and marigolds lining the sidewalks, you can truly feel the soul of the city. On the way to Santo Domingo, you will pass through some of Puebla's most picturesque streets, lined with colorful colonial buildings and detailed Talavera tile facades. You might even spot musicians, pop-up markets, and even bakeries selling pan de muerto for this time of year. And keep an eye for the Calle de los Dulces, where shops overflow with traditional candies like camotes and muéganos, a true Poblano specialty.
Right now we are in the Santo Domingo Church. He is the patron of Puebla. It's a very important saint, and I'm going to tell you why.
Saint Dominic was the founder of the Dominican order, known for spreading educational and faith across the Americas. The church itself is a symbol of Puebla's religious and artistic heritage, simple on the outside but home to one of the most ornate chapels in all Mexico. This is the main altar of the Templo de Santo Domingo, a breathtaking baroque masterpiece covered in gold leaf. It features a series of niches with statues of Dominican saints, bishops, and apostles, all surrounding a central crucifixion scene. The intricate spiral columns and fine detailing make it a visual highlight of the church. It is a powerful reminder of the Dominican order influence in Puebla and a stunning example of the colonial religious art.
Inside here, besides finding splendid altar pieces, you will find the Chapel of the Rosary. It is totally covered with gold, and it has different symbols. For example, it has a mermaid because he was the patron of sailors. It has several dogs because Saint Dominic is also known as the patron, or it's also called like the patron of God. And it also has bulls. There are different symbols. It was totally covered in gold and is considered the 8th wonder of the world.
Hidden inside the Templo de Santo Domingo is one of the most dazzling gems of baroque art in Latin America, the Capilla del Rosario. Built between 1650 and 1690, it took over 40 years to complete, and it was once called the 8th wonder of the world. Every inch is covered in gold leaf, with ornate stucco work, angelic figures, and symbolic details honoring the Virgin of the Rosary. The dome represents the heavens with golden rays pointing toward the center star, while the walls depict the mysteries of the Rosary. Even the benches and pulpit are carved with incredible detail. It was the first chapel in Mexico dedicated to the Rosary, and stepping inside feels like entering into another world, glowing, intricate, and full of spiritual meaning. From Santo Domingo, we walk to the Zócalo, the heart of Puebla. Puebla's Zócalo is the lively center of the city, with shaded benches, fountains, music, and families everywhere. It is a gathering place full of energy, especially during Día de Muertos. And like many Latin American cities, the main square is anchored by a grand cathedral. The Cathedral de Puebla was built between 1575 and 1690, blending Renaissance and Baroque styles. Inside, you will find tall arches, intricate altars, and one of the highest domes in Mexico. While we walk along the pedestrian street 16 de Septiembre, one of Puebla's busiest and most beautiful streets, here's a quick pause. Everything I've shown so far, you can do all year round. But if you're visiting during Día de Muertos from late October to early November, the city transforms. Puebla becomes even more colorful, full of altars, marigolds, and cultural events. So from this point on, we are diving into the must-see spots during Day of the Dead celebration here in Puebla. One of the first things we saw was a massive tapete de arena in the main square, a stunning sign tapestry full of color and symbolism. It was created by Arte Mágico de Huamantla, a Mexican company known for turning tradition into breathtaking public art. I actually got the chance to interview them, and they explained just how much work goes into these creations, how long it takes, how many artists are involved, and the step-by-step process in bringing these beautiful pieces by hand.
Ya se les van.
Son toneladas.
Claro.
Son como 20 toneladas.
20 toneladas de piedra.
¿Y en ese cuánto tiempo tardaron?
3 días.
También.
3 días.
El tapete son piedras.
3 días haciéndolo. Pedimos como 15 personas.
15 personas.
15 personas trabajando.
Y ustedes hacen como el diseño desde antes.
Lo pasa es que ahí están nuestros directores y ellos son los que hacen los diseños. Ellos son nuestros directores, ellos son los que hacen diseños, dibujos. Ya más nosotros nos vamos rellenando. A pulso ellos pintan y ya nosotros ya nos vamos.
O sea, abajo de esto hay como una tiza.
Ajá, sí, con un
Y
kit.
ustedes ya van.
Nosotros ya lo vamos rellenando. Nosotros vamos rellenando, lo van dibujando con este kit. Ya nosotros. Pura mano, todo es a mano, nada de moldes.
Wow.
Next, we step inside the Palacio Municipal de Puebla, located right in the main square. This building is the seat of the city's government, and while it usually holds official offices and events, today it was all about tradition. Inside, we found a beautifully crafted Día de los Muertos altar, honoring lives lost and celebrating their memory with papel picado, candles, marigolds, and traditional offerings. It was a moving reminder of how public spaces in Mexico transform to reflect the heart of a culture, blending history, community, and celebration in one powerful display. And right next to the Palacio, yes, there's a McDonald's where we stop for a quick breakfast and try the molletes, super tasty and surprisingly traditional. But if you're craving a more traditional experience, you can also sit down for a classic Mexican breakfast. I had chilaquiles and my sister ordered eggs with tlacaches and a side of fruit. It was totally delicious. Then we walked over to the Barrio del Artista, where you spot this striking sculpture called La Victoria, symbolizing strength, unity, and artistic expression. In the center of the plaza, we found a beautiful Día de los Muertos altar surrounded by easels and colorful canvases. This neighborhood is a heaven for local creativities, filled with galleries, open studios, and street art. It is the perfect place to watch painters and sculptors bring their work to life, or even grab a coffee while enjoying live music and spontaneous performances. If you want to see amazing Mexican Day of the Day of Ofrendas and art, here are the spots you absolutely have to visit in Puebla. First is the Casa de la Bóveda, a hidden gem just a few blocks from the main square. This historic building was once a part of the old university system and today serves as a cultural center. During Día de Muertos, their interior is beautifully decorated with altars and papel picado. You will find an art exhibit centered on the theme of the dead and memory. It also is perfect for photos, lighting, colors, and the atmosphere is just stunning. Next up is the Palacio de Justicia. This government building surrounds a quiet central courtyard which transforms completely during Día de Muertos. Dozens of papel picado banners hang above, and the plaza is filled with small altars, each one decorated by a different community group or students. It's peaceful, colorful, and full of symbolism, but what makes it special is how it blends official space with public tradition, showing how deeply embedded these celebrations are in everyday life. And finally, inside the Benemérita Universidad Autónoma de Puebla, you will find a large traditional altar. But what really caught our eye was the outdoor exhibit just in front of it. Local artists were invited to decorate skull sculptures, almost like toys, in any style they wanted, and the result? A collection of creative, playful, and sometimes haunting designs, each one completely unique. It is a perfect example of how Mexican culture merges tradition with contemporary artistic expression. And make sure to check the official Día de Muertos programming before you visit. Puebla hosts tons of free events across the city. And while we were walking across the streets at night, we actually stumbled upon a free live concert in a theater, completely free and filled with people enjoying the celebration. Puebla during Día de Muertos is truly something special, a perfect mix of history, culture, and celebration. From its stunning altars and unexpected street concert to colorful tradition, it is an experience that stays with you. So thank you for joining me on this journey, and if you're planning your own trip, I hope this video helps you to uncover the magic of Puebla.